Everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone XR and compare it against the iPhone XS Max and see which particular iPhone is a better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you between both of these devices, there isn't really one that's like the way better one in every single area, but let's go and see if either one of these phones are still even worth buying in this day and age. If you want to pick up either one, links will be down in the description. You can get that from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, they both are a little bit different. The iPhone XR on the front has a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel on the front of this particular phone. And overall, it's not a bad looking panel. It actually is like a pretty good panel. It's not a terrible panel. At the time in 2018, it was controversial. Nowadays, it still really isn't that great. So it's just one of those things to keep in mind here. It's a very, very basic type of panel. It's 750p. So that's just kind of what happens when you're getting these types of devices. They just don't really look that great. You're getting the notch up top, which again is like pretty basic, nothing else super crazy going on here. You're getting the bezels around it, which is pretty big. And definitely when it comes down to this one, it doesn't look as nice as some of the other ones. But I definitely do like this particular device because it looks good. It doesn't really look that terrible. With something like the iPhone XS, this is a much better looking panel. So on the front, you're getting a 5.8-inch Super Retina OLED display. And it is definitely a better looking device. Like I definitely do like the way this thing looks. And if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, I definitely do like the way this one looks when it comes down to it, because it does look definitely for sure better because it is an OLED display. Those types of things are better, but both these phones are at 60 hertz, so there's not really massive differences there. But this is the one that I'd look at as probably being the better one in almost every single way. When it comes down to the rest of the body though, on the sides especially, you can also see kind of what's going on here too. They both are giving you this like reflective material on the sides, as well as the iPhone XS is giving you reflective material. The iPhone XR is giving you this like standard type of material right there. So it's very nice. You have the volume buttons, you have everything, the slider on off switch. Very good stuff. Not much to complain about here either. It's pretty much what you'd expect. On the bottom, they're both giving you lightning ports as well, which again can be a nice touch for a lot of people out there. On the backside, you're getting your standard glass back on the iPhone XR. With the iPhone XS is giving you this like dual camera setup, which is very, very nice. Standard glass back here too on both. You do have the skin on the XS I just had to put there because my XS was completely cracked. But overall on the outside, that's kind of what you're getting. Wireless charging on both phones. There's still a lot of capability and a lot to love about both these devices. Is there one that's way better than the other one? I'm not really 100% too sure. They're both like basically the same type of phone almost, but the iPhone XS is definitely built better and it definitely gives you a much more premium feeling device with that better display than the iPhone XR when it kind of comes down to it. So when it comes down to that kind of covers it up there. When it comes down to the software experience, you're going to be getting basically the same type of software experience on both these devices. So it's not like because the XR is cheaper, the XS is going to last longer. That is not the case. Nuh-uh. The iPhone XS and XR are probably going to be lasting around the same exact time when it kind of comes down to it. So that right there kind of covers it up there too. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone XR has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone XS has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All of the apps are cleared out in the background. XS is here, XR is here. Let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, music 3, 2, 1. I think the XR was faster actually. Okay, XS slightly faster here. Let's go and do photos 3, 2, 1. Okay, XS again is the faster one there, hopping onto both of these. Let's go into App Store 3, 2, 1. And the XS was significantly faster here. Scrolling through all these applications, let's kind of see what's going on here. And I don't really think there's going to be that big of a difference, but you can kind of see what's going on. Let's go and get into the top of both of them. Totally messed that one up. Let's go and hop out of both these. Mail 3, 2, 1. Okay, XR was a little bit, I guess, slower to open that one up as far as I could tell. Notes 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. Let's go into camera 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of the same thing, hopping out of here. So I'm going to into some of these other apps. I feel like the XR is just slightly slower overall, 10.2, 3, 2, 1, than the XS. That's kind of what I'm seeing, but that is kind of what you'd expect. If you're getting either one of these phones, you'd want the more expensive one to be better. And the XS, as far as I can tell, is kind of being a little bit faster, which is exactly what you'd want. The XR and XS, though, haven't really been like the craziest, biggest differences as far as I could tell from before. But nowadays, you can kind of see it, and maybe that's what the big difference is that if you're getting some of these newer phones, you're going to be getting some devices that are going to be giving you a faster and better experience when it comes down to it over the long haul rather than right in that moment. Because in 2018 they were like very, very much like neck and neck. Getting into the actual gameplay itself, I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference here. It's going to be relatively the same. Even getting out of the app is very, very glitchy on both Subway Surfers 321, but I think it's slightly more glitchy on the iPhone XR. This game also is like not even that intensive. Getting into this next panel though was faster on the iPhone XS, as you can tell. You see right here again, the XS was faster. 10R just slightly slower when it kind of comes down to it. Getting into the actual game itself, the 10R did end up glitching there a little bit. And Subway Surfers is not like this super intensive game. I'm going to be honest, it's a pretty basic game when it kind of comes down to it. Hopping out of both of these, we have Genshin Impact 321. This is a large game, so we'll just wait until it gets into the main loading panel. So this in and of itself, again, is going to be another pretty big thing here. Like when you're getting either one of these applications or opening up on either one of these apps, there's definitely going to be some improvement. And it looks like the 10R might actually be faster. So this makes no sense to me. The 10R did actually end up loading the application faster than the iPhone XS. I genuinely don't have any idea why that ended up happening there. That is very, very crazy to me. That's just so insane. But I will tell you, as far as I can tell between all these applications, I definitely would tell you that the iPhone XS is probably going to be the faster one in almost every single way. When you're getting these types of applications between both, there's definitely always going to be one that's going to be better than the other one. I would say when it comes down to both though, I don't know if there's one that I would look at as being the significantly like the fastest phone of all time, but I think the iPhone XS is probably the faster one when it comes down to it, and I think it does kind of overbeat the iPhone XR. So that kind of covers it up there. Now from the camera side of things, both these phones are giving you a good camera for a 2018 type of device. As you can see, dual camera setup on the iPhone XS. iPhone XR is giving you a single camera setup, 4K at 60 on the back, which is nice to have. Only 1080p at 60 on the front, which is still fine, like it still gets the job done. But like I said before, you're probably going to be getting the better camera on the iPhone XS. The 10R I think was normally like pretty decent, like it really wasn't even that bad of a performing camera when it kind of came out. It was surprising because it was giving you like a decent camera for how weird this display was at the time. You were able to zoom in a okay amount. Zooming out is not really that great either. But I just realized they never put a number here. So it's just like the other iPhones where there's no number at the bottom. With the iPhone 11 onwards, there's a number, but not with these ones. You're getting video mode, slow mode, time lapse, portrait mode, panorama mode. There's still a lot of good stuff to kind of have about this specific camera. With a phone like the iPhone XS, this is also probably going to be, I would say in some ways, probably a better camera as well. So this is just another thing to keep in mind too. So this type of camera, you're able to go and basically maintain the ability of zooming in 10x. So I think that's something that's really cool. You're able to zoom out 1x, so that's another big thing. You're able to get video mode, slow mode, time lapse, portrait mode, and panorama mode. So this in and of itself is another very, very interesting camera because it is, I would say, a better camera overall than the iPhone XR. If you're wanting the better camera, this is definitely the one I'd recommend people to go and buy. So to be honest, I think the iPhone XS is probably the better phone in general as well. Like this is the phone that I look at for a majority of people to go ahead and actually buy because it is giving you a better experience. It looks better, it performs better in almost every single way. And this is the one that I look at as probably being more of a flagship than the iPhone XR. I think the XR was still good. I think it was great when it first came out. I just don't know if it's like the better one here. Like clearly the XS is the better one. The XR is still a good phone if you want a cheap, very cheap, like budget type of phone. But otherwise, I'd say go for the XS. It's honestly, I would say go for the iPhone 11s, the 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, the 12 Pro, 13 Pro. Those iPhones are probably going to be better than these particular devices. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.